Is being honored as an example of what can be accomplished through hard work and determination. It gives us both great honor and privilege to introduce you to you, a role model of note, a man of distinction, our father, Ron Tascarella.
Well, I'm going to be a lot briefer. You know, the only thing I can think of doing is thanking everyone involved tonight. You know, as I was writing down here over the last couple of days, I can't help but think of what makes a small town like Kings Park special. You know, Oswego is a really nice community. And I started thinking about growing up here. Well, you know what? There's some similarities. What makes a town like this special are the people who are here. It's people with their hard work, their dedication. It's folks like Mr. Ospo who put so much energy into the students and helping mentor and guide them, helping challenge them and make them see more than maybe what was right in front of them. But it's each of us here. It's each of the things that we do to encourage others to go out there in the next generation and maybe do more than just work, but to reach down, volunteer, and to give back. And again, I'm going to have to use Mr. Ospo just like the Heritage Museum. It took real dedication to form that museum, to drive that forward. And you wonder what a town could be like if more people had that kind of drive and energy. On that, I just want to thank everybody for this evening.
Right here? I didn't touch it. I'm just going to take the cover off. Just don't worry about that. Take the cover off. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Thank you very much.
Our next honoree, raconteur. Webster's defines that as French origin, and it's somebody who is a teller of stories, either the written or the oral arts. Of course, when I want to know the meaning of anything, I ask my friend King Pedler. I ask him, what does raconteur mean? He paused for a second. Raconteur? That means Matty O'Reilly, who is our next honoree. I remember going through some old Kings Park State Hospital reporters. It's a newspaper, and King had preserved many of those. Buys them on eBay, puts them in the museum, and I couldn't help but reading over and over these articles from Matty O'Reilly. And I knew Matty from town, but honestly, I didn't know he wrote for the newspaper. And there was always an optimistic outlook towards everything that he did. No matter what, the glass was always half full. And so one day I asked him, I said, Matty O, what's up? And he said, you know, my typewriter always had a smile. And that's true, and it does. He spreads that wherever he goes. Matty O'Reilly is a Kings Parker, and Kings Parker brings joy into all of our lives. So I'd like to congratulate one more time Matty O'Reilly. Matty O'Reilly, an orphan brought to Kings Park at the age of 5. He left high school in 10th grade and went into military service. That's just a half of it. The actual story is Matty and his friend Frank Foley decided they wanted to save the world from tyranny. And so they went and they joined the Air Force together. Frank Foley went over to Europe, and Matty went over to the Pacific, and then with a few of their friends, certainly did save the world from tyranny. Matty, coming home, Matty had a job at Kings Park State Hospital and took pride in being part of the Kings Park community. The town center for Matt was the American Legion, Monroe Post 944. He had spent a half a century informing the town about the American Legion's accomplishments. What happened was one of the directors at the Kings Park State Hospital read the newsletter every day, every time it came out. And when a position became available for the editor of the newspaper, Matty was working in one of the buildings. And he went to Matty and said, "Matty, come on over, I want you to do this." And that became his regular job, and we're all the better for it. His scripts have become the voice of the veteran in this town. Match this with his years of editor service as the editor of the State Hospital newspaper, and you have an individual who became a real town crier. To say a few words and officially introduce Matty is his son, Matty O'Reilly.
Thank you, Steve, and congratulations to all the inductees this evening. What a truly great group of people. I am proud to be up here this evening to introduce my father, who is really been a role model for me and my family. A couple of weeks ago, when he informed me that he was being inducted tonight, I was over his house, and I could really see that he was especially proud of being inducted tonight. He was really beaming. And that he's usually beaming, but he was especially beaming this day. And I really think the reason for that is that, you know, all of the inductees tonight share one thing in common. They all have that KP pride. And my father is no exception to that. 37 years working in the Kings Park Hospital. In those days, you know, the hospital is closed today, but in those days it was a city. It was a bustling city. And my father, as the editor of the hospital newspaper, was the glue that kind of kept everyone informed in the hospital system.